Good morning and welcome to my channel, Tricky Dicky Mason. Spent the night on the boat last night, so I'm just taking myself off for a quick walk. I really enjoy my walks, clears my mind and improves my mood. For most of my younger adult life, I had the label of eccentric, and people referred to me and my habits as being a little bit eccentric. Later on in life, when labels became more popular, I was referred to as autistic. My skincare videos offer me a bit of a routine. Now I'm a 56-year-old man, and I look like a 56-year-old man, and it's a bit of an odd obsession to be into skincare at 56. But I enjoy the process, and for me it's a time almost like meditation, where I just focus on myself for 10-15 minutes before going to work, and then the same in the evening. If you know anything about autism, one of the things that we like is routine, and for me it offers me a great routine. I'm not telling you that the fact that I'm a little bit autistic is a negative thing in any way. I've had a fantastic career. I served for 16 years in a large retail company, and my responsibility was the new business operations. I was the head of that department, and that's involved opening multiple stores at multiple times. And the great thing about my autism and the fact that I work very well with lists, times and routine means I could go to a particular site and very, very quickly work out what was required at that site. For instance, I took the whole process from right at the start, from lease agreements all the way to making sure there was a £200 float in the till on opening day. And I was very successful at that for 16 years. Since then, I've opened my own business, and again, it's very list orientated, and it benefits me very well. So autism hasn't had a negative effect on my life in that respect. But what it has done is when things don't work out the way they should, sometimes that gives me a bit of a conflict. So for instance, if I plan something to happen on this day and that day, and then something is delayed, then that causes my mind to go into a panic. And in some cases, it causes me to go into a depression. And so that part of autism has been quite negative. But overall, I'm quite positive. Now, I do live in the north of England, so we're still wearing our big coats. But overall, the weather is pretty good. It's important that we do something for ourselves every day and that we enjoy. And it can just be for 10-15 minutes. It doesn't have to be for a whole day. For me, I take myself off for a walk in the countryside along the canals. I've always been fascinated with the canals, and I love walking along there. I love seeing the wildlife. I love seeing the boats. And so for me, it really uplifts my mood. It offers me great peace. Now, some people find the same kind of peace in their shed, in their garage, in their garden, going out shopping. All of these things can also bring comfort, I suppose. Sometimes I can just wallow in my own self-pity, but generally I force myself to get out and go for a walk or do something that I enjoy. Skincare is one of those things that just gives me that time of self-reflection, and I focus on what I'm doing. I feel it benefits my skin. I still look like a 56-year-old, but hopefully my skin is a healthy 56-year-old. Haven't always taken care of my skin. For a long, long time, I was very overweight. So for nearly 30 years, I was very, very obese. January 2024, I went skiing in Norway, and it was cross-country skiing. We'd never done it before. Thought I could do it. But what I wasn't expecting is when I fell, it really, really hurt, and it really shook me up. And after I'd fallen 4 or 5 times, my body was just saying, no, you don't want to do this anymore. And I was disappointed in myself because that's something I wanted to do, but my weight had stopped me doing that. And so it was like a light switch moment where I decided that I was going to lose weight. I've tried every single diet under the sun. So I've tried Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast diet, the pasta diet. I've tried every single diet under the sun. And yes, I would lose a stone here, a couple of stone there, and then I'd put 3 stone on. And so it was always a yo-yo kind of situation. I had health problems. I had high blood pressure. My knees always ached. I've since lost 10 stone. I've been carrying around another adult for the past 20 or 30 years. And so that's really helped as well with my mental health. I just feel so much more healthier for it. And my mental health has improved immensely. Going out in public, I just felt so much anxiety because I felt that people were judging me. I cut all ties with friends. I didn't have a great deal of friends. And the friends that I did have, I just stopped seeing them. And for me, when I suffered with anxiety and depression, one of the things that really comforted me was eating. So I've had to find new ways to find happiness and to find reassurance. And one of those things was skincare for me. And I became obsessed about it. And something about the autistic tendency is we can have obsessive behaviour, and mine was skincare. And so I would read articles on it, look at it on the internet, follow YouTube videos, obsessed. And every time somebody said this cream is magical, I would purchase that cream and I would try that cream. And let me tell you, not many creams or any creams are magical. Yes, my skin feels healthy, but have they transformed me in any shape, way or form? No, they haven't. But for some reason I enjoy doing it. And it's just one of those things. Now, that hasn't been the only obsession in my life. I've had many other obsessions, and I'll share one with you now. One was patchwork quilt making. So I went big into that for 12 months. I produced 3 quilts, got all the kit, the fabric, the tools, the knowledge, and I made some fabulous quilts because I really got obsessed about it. And then that faded overnight. And then my boat, of course, was a huge obsession of mine. That has been an obsession most of my life. I've had several boats, and I just love, as I said earlier, I just love the canal network. I love canal boats. And for me, it brings me great peace and joy. Now, it doesn't come without sacrifice. Boats are expensive. I'm not recommending anybody go out and buy a boat. They're expensive to buy and they're expensive to maintain. And it's an expensive hobby to have. But for me, it works for me. This is only a recent weight loss. My anxiety is almost gone. I don't feel the judgment that I used to feel anymore. I feel much more positive. And so I'm grateful that I've lost the weight. And I just feel so much empathy for people that are overweight, because I know 30 years of being overweight. I know how hard it is to lose weight. And I know it takes a great deal of work and effort to lose weight. I know how hard and difficult it is. I know what effect that can have on your mental health. And so, now is a good time for me. So that's a little bit about why I do skincare videos. Now, losing the weight and not having anxiety. So this January 2025 is when I decided I was going to start doing YouTube videos. I've always watched them, but I never thought I would start a channel on YouTube. And I kept watching all these videos on how to set up YouTube, and there was always saying, just do it, just start it, just do it, just post your video. I appreciate my videos are not brilliant. There's always something wrong with them, whether it's the microphone, whether it's the camera, whether it's the content, whether it's just myself. So I know that my videos at the moment are pretty rubbish. But this new positivity that I have has really helped me to get out there and put myself out there. And, I wanted to talk about skincare and I wanted to talk about mental health because, if I can do it after 30 years of being overweight and being so anxious and being so miserable, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I still haven't been to the gym. I want to go, and that's probably my next step, is going to a gym and seeing whether, one, I enjoy it. People tell me they get so much benefit from going to the gym, and it lifts their mood and they feel so positive after coming out of the gym. I really want to experience that. Although I will say one thing, I've never seen a happy jogger. They always look so miserable. Cyclists as well always look very miserable. I have recently also purchased a bicycle, which I've ridden once so far. I found the saddle very, very uncomfortable. But I suppose that just takes time getting there. So my next goal is to do something like going to a gym. But I'm feeling really positive at the moment, and I just wanted to share that positivity with other people via YouTube. regardless of whether my videos are currently a little bit strange. You could say a little bit eccentric, but I'm enjoying doing it, and I'm enjoying talking to people online, and I'm enjoying sharing my story with people. So that's my mental health in a nutshell. It's still a battle occasionally, and I still have to use techniques I've learned in therapy. And being autistic as well, I didn't mention this earlier, being autistic means you follow the rule to the letter sometimes. For me personally, there's lots of different kind of autistic characteristics, and for me that's one of them, following rules. And so maybe a year and a half ago, if somebody didn't indicate to make a turn in the car that you're following, that could ruin my whole day. As stupid as that sounds, that could ruin my whole day because they didn't follow the rules and I am. I'd think about it the whole day. You know, they didn't indicate. Why didn't they indicate? I felt it was an attack on me because they didn't indicate and they didn't show respect. As stupid as that sounds, but for me, it made complete sense. And so my therapist taught me, she called it the focus rule, so 3 focus. So as soon as something like that happened, I had to focus on 3 different things that I could see. So it could be, I'm looking around now, I can see a tree, a bridge, and now I had to go into depth on those 3 things. So I'd say a tree, there's no leaves on it, it's got lots and lots of branches, it looks like quite an old tree, it's got moss on some of the branches, it's casting a reflection on the ground. The bush that I can see in front of me right now, there's a few leaves on it, so there may be a few different kinds of bushes there. There's grass growing underneath it. I can see some birds going in and out, etc. So you get the picture. So I'd focus on 3 things very, very quickly as soon as something happened. And for me, this was a lifesaver because I could use that in every aspect of my life where something triggered my autism or the panic in my brain. I could find 3 things very, very quickly to focus on. And that really, really worked for me. Won't work for everybody, but for me, it really, really worked. And I found it really, really beneficial to me. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed our walk together. I've enjoyed it. The sun is shining and it just makes you feel so much more positive inside when it's a nice day and you're able to get out and enjoy a good walk. So if you're thinking about going for a walk today, just do it. Whether it be a 10 or 15-minute walk or whatever. And do something that you want to do today. Do something that brings you happiness. And just go and do it. Thank you once again for subscribing. If you haven't already and you're thinking about doing it, please do. I'd like to have you along for the ride. And if you want to chat, use the comments and we'll have a chat. But really appreciate you being here today. Channel is Tricky Dicky Mason, and we have been on this walk together at the beginning of March 2025, the first sunny day, and I'm wearing my sun cream, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now. I'm not going to mention he was on his phone while driving.